Warning, listening to this show may result in increased levels of inspiration, motivation, and innovation. Side effects can include the immediate urge to take massive action to build a better business and life for yourself and others. You've been warned. Welcome to Influencers Radio with your host, Jack Mize.
And welcome back to another episode of Influencers Radio. Today, you are going to get a lesson in micro-specialization. And if you ever thought or even debated in your head whether micro-specialization, narrowing down, is going to be profitable, the right thing to do, I think you're going to come away with some very good idea that it absolutely is a great way to do this, because today my guest is the founder and CEO of DuJour Magazine. It's a digital and print publication that chronicles the world of the country's wealthiest individuals. It has a reach of more than 3 million readers monthly, and that's a readership consisting primarily of the extremely affluent. So please welcome to Influencers Radio, Mr. Jason Binn. Jason, how are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, thanks for being here. I've got to say, where luxury lives, that's the tagline of DuJour Magazine, and I think you nailed it on that one. In a world where there's so many entrepreneurs, particularly those in the lifestyle and entertainment space, that are trying to cast a wide of net as possible to capture a market. You launched DuJour in 2012 with your sites kind of laser focused on probably less than 1% of the population. Did you feel that this was a gamble or the only way to go when you did this?
I think today, anything you do is a gamble, and it's more about finding opportunities where businesses, products, services don't exist. Going head to head with established brands that do things that are similar to yours, that have been around, could be a lot more challenging. And with DuJour, we found for our business a way to bring together print and digital as one, where they were typically, in a traditional sense, separated. And it's obviously worked and paid off.
Well, I think so. I think the company was profitable. If I have this right, it was profitable within the first year of operation, which is pretty rare.
Yes. And now we're, as the business has been a proven success, and as our advertisers have continually come in to support the product, and as we've received, as you might know, a lot of accolades and just won the hottest lifestyle magazine of the year award, it's allowed us to extend now and build out our platform and to put money back into the business to move with the times, because it's not about just thinking about today, it's thinking about tomorrow and building out your departments and new departments.
Well, one thing that I've noticed about you as a founder and publisher of this, you are everywhere. It's almost if I see a picture online, and if it's a group of A-listers, celebrities, it's almost like, going through a Where's Waldo? It's a Where's Jason Binn in this picture. The way that you get around, what, came first? Or is it, you mixing and mingling and knowing and getting involved with folks in this caliber because of what you're doing and who you're targeting with your publication? Or is it, the opposite, that you are growing the success because of being seen, because you are next to so many people, whether it's Kanye West or just about any pictures of celebrities I see out there. How does that play into the growth of what you're doing and build that momentum and that traction?
So, I guess it's like a two-pronged question. So the first is, I've been publishing for around 25 years. I started when I was 24, 25 with Ocean Drive Magazine in Miami, and built out a national network of local magazines. And then the reason I got into the publishing business was because I I knew a lot of the people that we cover in the magazine, and someone came up to me and said, all these people, you're, always at the right place, or at least seem to be. And, do you ever make money or try to, your second question is build something, do something with it. And I said, no, I really love being around people, no matter who they are, what they do. I just love to be, that person. And they said, well, you should figure a way to make money off it. And that's when I went, and I've always loved media. I graduated from College of Communications at Boston University. And that's when I ended up moving to Boston, went to school, graduated, and started to come up with this model called Ocean Drive, which, freed luxury lifestyle magazines with local and national advertisers sitting in the same book and making sure the books are at the places where I would frequent, or I knew people who had high disposable incomes were frequenting. Make sure my brand is in front of them, whether they were at home, whether they were at a restaurant, club, lounge, bar, boutique, you name it. And then we kind of just rolled it out.
One of the things that really makes you stand out in my mind, that you're not only the CEO and the publisher, but you have not been hesitant to jump into the role of the journalist, of the reporter, and in a big way. So this year, I can think of two that would come to mind that were really huge. One, in the heat of the controversy around the Los Angeles Clippers owner Donald Sterling, it wasn't Brian Williams, it wasn't Barbara Walters, it wasn't Oprah that got him on the phone and on the record revealing some very candid thoughts. It was Jason Binn. What do you attribute that to?
It's so different than Kim Jong-un, Dennis Rodman. I'm in these places with these people, and it just becomes something that you have a conversation about, and it has to do a lot with trust and respect and knowing that you're going to, look at the Kourtney Kardashian photos, and it's up to our editorial team, which, is led by a woman named Nicole Vecchiarelli, and it's been, to really take, it's almost like being a producer. You can package it, you can put everything together and bring the people together, and they trust that you'll do the right thing. But on the other end, you have to, make sure that you have a qualified team with research, and because you never, you get no interview, whether it's Don Sterling or Dennis Rodman or, Kim Jong-un, nothing is going to, be the overriding factor. It's a two-way street. So you got to really be responsible, but also respectful. And that's what I think we've done. And my access has allowed our editors to, raise the bar.
Well, yeah, I think so. And I think what you just said speaks volumes to that, particularly in the Dennis Rodman. When you got to speak with Dennis Rodman about, North Korea and his relationship with Kim Jong-un, it was done with respect, where a lot of reporters or journalists probably would have taken that opportunity to really kind of to grill him or skew that. You were able to.
Well, that's what happened at CNN. When they did that interview, it became what you just said exactly. And I didn't want to, and he just pretty much walked off the set. So for what I did was, as time went by and, obviously he was ridiculed for what he did and he was not in the best state. I kind of, sat down and figured out the environment. We all flew to Miami, and it worked out. He felt comfortable, and he was very engaged and focused, and they gave us a great interview. And we broke. Was the uncle being alive, or whether it was his, not just his uncle, but his ex-girlfriend. There was a lot of issues going on, and no one knew the answers, and no one had access.
And the remarkable thing to me was, because of the way that played out, it wasn't CNN that got this information, but it actually ended up with CNN and Wolf Blitzer talking to you about your conversation with Rodman rather than directly. And I'm sure that didn't hurt your exposure at all with the magazine.
It was definitely a special, you get these big breaking, no different than George Stephanopoulos with Ferguson. I mean, you get the situation, you get these opportunities, and you either seize them and handle it properly, or you let it fly by the wayside. And it is competitive out there, with no doubt.
Yeah, well, I think you certainly have carved out a niche for yourself in the way that you handle this and the way that you present this. One thing that I've got to get from you before you run is the fact that you have both digital and print. You're in both digital and print media. And right now, we appear to be living in what I call a digital attention span economy. Where do you see the future of print media, and how far out do you see the future of print media? Actually, hold it in your hand, physical, feeling the magazines.
Obviously, I mean, print's not going anywhere. It's about understanding the audiences you're speaking to, what they're engaging, and that they're different worlds.
It is, and I think a lot of people, you see things from the record industry, from CDs. You'll get people that romanticize back about the days when they could hold their albums and hold their CDs and open it up. And there is something about sitting back and actually having a physical magazine, and you send out your physical your print magazines, which are, I mean, really a work of art in themselves. What's the kind of classification of the households? What is the demographic that actually receive your physical magazines?
There's 7 filters, of which include donating $10,000 a year, spending $100,000 online, $100,000 offline, $10,000 online, having income over like $250,000, liquid assets of $1 million. $5 million net worth. And as long as you hit 5 of these 7 filters, you can get the magazine.
That is definitely a few more steps to go through than filling out the form from the Boy Scout at the door, which I think speaks volumes to your success and understanding that narrowing your focus and really, really being very purposeful about the way that you target and the audience that you've collected is really, I think, the foundation of your success and probably a lot of people that are in this industry where so many fail or struggle.
Yeah.
So, Jason Binn, I want to thank you so much for coming on Influencers Radio today, sharing this because...
No, thank you. It's a great show.
This is something that I think that truly, without a doubt, people can see that this qualifies you as an influencer. The people that not only that you get to be with and mingle with and have conversations, but the fact that they look at it as an experience to be able to do the same back with you is just truly remarkable and definitely makes you an influencer. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, no, please. Thank you for having me.
And everyone can check out DuJour Magazine online. You have
DuJour.com.
DuJour.com. Check it out, where luxury lives. Until next time on Influencers Radio, remember, you are the only real game changer.
You've been listening to Influencers Radio. To get all past shows and updates on future shows, visit influencersradio.com today or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/influencersradio.